I was at a New Year's Eve party, and I was with a bunch of actors who were all kind of complaining that this is going to be the year for them. This is the year they're going to get a big break. And I was also working in a school as a therapist. I'm like, wow, wouldn't it be? And I was kind of just sitting back. I was like, wow, wouldn't it be great if I could combine the 12 steps, which people feel so empowered by, into actors? And then they would have an organized plan, something they could actually follow on how they could become successful. And when I say successful, that doesn't mean that if you read this book and you follow these steps, you're going to be the next Meryl Streep. It means you will be working in your craft every day. If it's with your peers, if it's forming your own theater company, if it's making your own little movies, you will be working because this is what you love, and it will lead you. It's the beginning of a path. The 12 steps they correlate to the 12 months of the year. So there's a step for each month. And the first step is if you don't live in LA, where to live when you first get here. And the second step is to create your new life. Then it's learning the lingo, taking classes, auditioning, creating your own projects. And within each month, there's a questionnaire at the end of each chapter, which I think is really important. If you haven't completed what you're supposed to complete in this month, here's a questionnaire and here's why. And there's 20 questions to ask yourself each month. And I think that's really important because people say, oh my God, why isn't it happening for me? Or why haven't I gotten my big break? But are you doing your homework? Are you every day working at your craft? Do you have a support system of people? Do you read every day? Do you make at least 20 phone calls a day? Do you write down every person you've met? It's really just about treating your life as a business. You need to live in order to act, but you also need to be focused and know how to work on your craft and what your goal is. There was a play I wrote, it was my autobiographical piece called Making a Peep, and it was me finding my voice, and it was my journey. It was kind of a female wonder years. My biggest problem as an actress was I had a hard time finding my voice and letting myself be raw and vulnerable. And this is kind of like my story and how I got there. This is my big audition. I had the opportunity to audition for Death of a Salesman on Broadway. It was my first big audition. I'm standing on a huge Broadway stage, and 6 rows back is Arthur Miller, Dustin Hoffman, these huge casting people, assistants, and I didn't know what to expect. I had just come the day before from a little room, reading with one person, and it was a whole different experience, and I was totally unprepared. So I talk about that in my book too, how to be prepared for audition, what to expect. What each city has, especially the LA one, which is really specific, it'll tell you everything from if you just got off the plane, where to live, where to take classes, where to get your headshots, where to find car rentals, every single theater company, how to get to be an apprentice at the theater company. So it has a lot of information specific to the city, which would really help somebody who, it's like having a friend if you just got off the plane and you didn't know anybody. And I teach actors how to focus, how to treat themselves as a business, and not to wait for somebody else to give them their big break. It's a book about journey. Find out what you want to do before you ask anyone else to do it. And if you want to be an actor or a writer, you really need to know inside. Do some serious self-examination and then go for it and really surround yourself with people who are doing that.